Hello everyone, welcome back as we are ready to dive into our final game of this evening. Already a pretty quick start to the day, of course, is what we had, and you see the bracket there displayed for you. Elevate against CLANCY'S was our first game this evening. 14-0, Elevate took it. That will be our second quarter final. INTZ against Elevate. Now we just seen MIBR have a very lackluster performance, but still scraped away with the victory. So they took it 2-1 against Looking for Org, and now we'll see SEM Org against Team 1 Fluke.
Yeah, and this kind of already has those little warning signs that it may go the same way that the first game of the day went. Team 1 obviously third in Pro League, but only by 1 point. They were 1 point away from FaZe. Very recently, they've taken games from FaZe, from NIP, from INTS, from MIBR, and they are a very solid team. SEM Org team is actually a different SEM Org team, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, than the one that is in Challenger League. This isn't that same roster. This isn't that same lineup. So this is, as far as we know, an unknown roster. And the last time we saw a Pro League team go up against an unknown roster, it was a 14-0. It's not good.
Yeah, and this is Team 1. A team who we seen back in Challenger League Season 9. They came up to Pro League through the relegations. Well, didn't go through relegations. They just won the tournament outright. They won Challenger League. That's how they got the spot. You know, we seen them then as well at Allied. That was their first big outing. They put up a good performance there. They started to impress some of us, and we'll do the map ban as well. Of course, we continue on. Their first half of Pro League was kind of expected from a new team. You know, they got some nice results there. 7-0 against INTS to kind of start things off. Then they got beat by, the bigger teams. And then the second half, look, was absolutely phenomenal. 7-2 Liquid 1 week, then the next play day, they go ahead and 7-4 FaZe, and then right after that, a 7-4 on NIP. So they beat all the big three right in quick succession, and that's not an easy thing to do.
Well, let's see if they can find their way to a major via this. Now, with the map bans, they like to take out Border and Cafe. I'm assuming there'll be quick guns. There is Cafe from Team 1, instantly taken out. SEM Org, they're probably going to want to take out potentially something like Clubhouse or Consulate, which are lesser seen maps in the region, but ones that Team 1 are very good at. At the same time, you're trying to take, weapons of mass destruction away from a beast. They can have any of them and be confident.
I could see Bank being thrown into kind of our first picks by either team, really. I'm expecting to see Consulate not be played as kind of is the trend of Latin America, and straight away there's Consulate gone. It's very strange because Consulate's a big favoured map in every other region except this one.
That's the thing, and Team 1 are one of the only few teams from the region that are consistently confident on it. They can take people like FaZe to it. They can take big teams to Consulate and come out with victories. So it's a fair thing because not only are they good at it, statistically and historically, your region isn't. Now, obviously, this leaves a lot of big regional maps open. Like Bank is going to be a big potential here. Could also go to Clubhouse. As I said, Team 1 do enjoy playing it, but at this point, I think it's whatever they're confident and comfortable playing. SEM Org might go for something like Border that's a bit aggressive, but no. Team 1 are the ones that are actually going to opt for Border instead.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. Last time they played Border, it was against Liquid, which they 7-2'd them on.
If you're confident and you're happy and you can get through it quickly. I remember we've seen a Border once tonight, and that was, well, an adventure.
That was something. Go watch that VOD.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say. Now SEM Org have a lot of options left on the table, and Coastline is what they're going to opt for.
Okay, so first Coastline tonight.
Yeah, something a bit interesting, something a bit aggressive, and I guess we'll see if it can translate. Now it's just back to the bans, and obviously Bank is still up there, and whenever you see a LATAM matchup and Bank's still on the board, you normally assume you'll head there, but
yeah,
we've seen them diversify themselves to a lot of other maps over the past season, and Clubhouse and Villa have been, mildly popular, I think it's fair to say. Villa was where they took NIP, Team 1, and Villa was where they took Black Dragons and drew them, so I'm assuming they don't want to go there, but as I said, and someone else does it, SEM Org are the ones that don't want to go there.
Has to be... Oh, I was going to say the Bank pick for Team 1, but instead Clubhouse is their poison. But honestly, Fluke, we look at both these teams. You look at the season Team 1's had. You look at this team who's unknown. Do we think it's going to get to Clubhouse anyway?
I guess we're going to find out. I doubt it, but you never know. We've had, I think the last game was a bit of an upset. I think the last game was a bit of a surprise for MIBR, but MIBR, they're struggling. Team 1 are not. Team 1 are in a very good swing right now. As I said, it was unfortunate that they missed out on the kind of big spot, and they missed out on the second place by a point, especially when in those final weeks they took points off of both NIP and FaZe, so they were kind of close to finding their way in. It was only really the draw against Black Dragons that was their unlucky stumble. Buck is banned out, and as well as Nomad. Nomad, I really like the ban on Border.
Yeah, it makes sense for Nomad, because she is kind of a universal operator who can be played in every single map. We've seen better bans, I think, coming out of this. Buck, I still don't get it. The Buck bans are never as efficient as what they would seem as if you take away like another operator who's really strong, because Kabatau's now being left in, and that's not going to bode well for the defense.
Well, Echo and Mirror, they're your standard and your familiars to lock off the bans on this map. As Demo said, Buck, he's a particular kind of ban. You kind of really not want to go up against his weapon set, because think of the points on this map. Yes, if you look at Armory, you can buck from underneath and get the wall and the bandit charges. You can get a bit of reverse vertical from underneath on certain points. But any time when you're trying to get the vertical from above, you have Sledge, who is instantly on the board from Team 1. You have Zephyr or Ash if you want to do very particular underneath destruction. You have the possibility of holding a cook grenade from DKB or Co and releasing it at the right time. So, you know, maybe they're doing it to try and force a little bit more skill from Semorg, but even then, it's not a huge jump.
So Lookit is the guy who I'm going to look at quite a bit. He has had a phenomenal season, being joint highest rating in Latin America this season, along with Muzi, who we know also had a great season as a kind of wonder kid story from him. But yeah, Lookit, 147 kills, 90 deaths, a plus 57. That's really, really strong figures to be putting up in your first Pro League season, primarily Buck Jaeger main. And not having Buck, that's kind of weird that Team 1 would ban that away from him. Maybe they just don't like him.
Yeah, maybe they're just like, all right, you've been a bit of a problem.
Let's give him an F2.
In scrims, you got
F2 with 5 left bullets now. Remember?
Oh, it's completely changed the whole operator, done it? Oh,
absolutely
low pick rate. Now you can see Level already trying to open those particular little holes towards the teammates there.
He's made so many.
Yeah.
But then that's counterintuitive, because whenever you see like about 50 bullet holes, you're just going to start shooting at it, aren't you?
Well, that's it. I mean, like, you just kind of start swinging your way and try and find anybody that's on the other side of it. Quick rotations coming in, as we can see the drone game from Team 1 getting as much control of those east stairs as possible and already trying to batter down the door of the armory point. Now, this is a standard go-to as a first point, and we'll see if Scar can have... Skadina can have a bit more luck on the Jackal than we've seen Jackals previously used today. Finds the smoke upstairs in. The Legion is being consistently pinged as well, as is the Jaeger. This is a lot of information feeding one way, as the Legion is already exceptionally low health, and the close down across monitors finds the opening frag, falls, drops Level Leet, and there is Gabriello finding Reduct in the meantime, but the Bandit hits the floor as he tries to rotate. Demasi finds Skadina, and Reese finds Fusion. Quick trades and quick movement coming out so far.
Yeah, Rise and ready to rock and roll with the CSED 5. Knows there's one down, will cook the frag grenade in. Doesn't land though, but still a down's a down, and actually gonna waste another one. Don't really see the reason why, because nobody's gonna be in a position to pick him up. You know they don't have a dock. Smoke also has to be careful, because he's a bullet away from being killed himself. And now Team 1, they took the early engagements, and they can try and slow things right on down, and even the drones start to come in. Wonder if we're going to try and see a hack from a camera, because that could help on the Maestro cameras, but I don't think they need it at this stage, because there's Falls. Downs another one and gets that kill. Now 1v3 for Maestro, all to do, and well, Team 1, this could be the start of many things to come.
Well, it was the fact that they instantly lost, or pretty much early on lost the Therma, and then from then on just didn't really miss the step.
Yeah, they didn't care about that, did they?
They did not care. They just pushed aggressively against the point with Gunskill, and Gunskill took it alone. Armory, we're going to double up, and they're going to try again. I guess we'll see if they change anything on their hold. In the meantime, the attackers have slightly swapped, and they've got Ash on the board of Skadina for now. But otherwise, the defenders looking pretty much the same across the board.
Armory again. They could have done with that Doc rather than the Bandit, I think, last round.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we saw a lot of them. They won firefights, but they took a huge amount of damage in it, and whether that was just positioning or luck or whatever it was, and you know, it worked for a bit, but then it only works for so long. As we said, as soon as you allow yourself to be that injured, you're tough in any upcoming situation.
I must say, I love the Legion's name. Level 1337. His name is just a literal number. 1337. What do we call him? Do we call him level?
I did level.
Do we call him 1337?
Levelite.
What happened in 1337? I don't think he was alive back then.
No, it's leet, isn't it? The old gamer slang.
Is it?
Yeah, leet. Have you not familiar with that?
You tell me this man has made his name out of numbers?
He's made it out of an old set. It's a pro gamer move, arguably, because it makes him play better.
That's a weird one.
Demacy using the bright pink smoke skin and opening up a load of different holds. Gonna try and use this, I guess, while just doing as much damage as possible. And you know, it makes it a little bit awkward to hold that from the close wall. Normally I like to see at least one of those reinforced, but K1 opens up the frags against T1 and takes Reese out of the equation of Rise as they try and drop the Maestro cam doing the long look. And this is something that I've seen a couple of times from LATAM, as they set the solo Maestro up there and use the ACOG behind it.
Oh, that was nice. That was the Twitch drone that got rid of that. That was great. Good use of Twitch. We don't really see her use the drone as efficiently as what already Luca is doing. Still, SEM, they got the first blood, but then again, they have lost some utility and some control of the security. As you can see, Team 1 will start to group up and try and push their way in. So a couple of drones, so they know what they have to look out for. And Falls just toying with the barbed wire and does get it destroyed. And I think Skadina is going to be the main man to try and entry in.
Well, he's kind of dancing around the door and hasn't quite made up his mind yet, as they just hard push the Jaeger, and Falls finds one on the other, gets revenge, and takes K1 out. They're so close to getting body after body, and the Legion escapes with a flicker.
1 HP, I'm pretty sure.
And now it's Skadina is in, still thirsty for blood. In the meantime, look at Falls on the opposite side, and Officers, who is just putting this reverse pressure on.
Could take their time to try and reset the Legion here. I don't know if they're going to go for that, as T1 now. They have control of the security, which is the main thing they wanted. They still have people lurking around, and oh, that's a kill now for the Maestro being down, and that's Reduct. He's off the board. And that's basically a 1v4, and, well, Smoke's nowhere near the objective, and Team 1 can simply push in and put everything to rest.
Well, his first suit couldn't save him against the bullet of those F2 as he tears through and makes it 2-0 in favor of Team 1. Are they going to opt for Armory again? If I'm honest, I think it's their best shout for now, but if they lose it a third time, maybe then it's worth pushing the boat out just a little bit further.
They're going to go for it again.
For me, I think that's like they're trying different strategies on the same point. They obviously only did half the wall that time, and they managed to get the first body down, but this is where, and we've said it before, I'm sure we've said it a couple of times, this is where the skill of a great team is made, is in their ability to adapt on attack, and their ability to not be thrown and not be swayed. I
mean, it's always going to be difficult for SEM. We know this. You look at the matchup, Team 1 wins this matchup 99 times out of 100. Yeah, let's get the facts real. We are not expecting SEM to win that. That's probably the best way they can play, is knowing that they have nothing to lose. They are just here, they're playing their game, get some experience against a Pro League team, and just do whatever really they want to go for. You know, I wouldn't be opposed if they just start peeking everything and trying their best and just having fun with it.
We saw it in the first game of the day. Like, so far, this one has been much more, I would say, metered and much...
Yeah, just wait till Team 1 catches on that we're better than this team, and then all of a sudden, deja vu flashbacks, yeah. PTSD, we're back in Nam, boys.
Setting themselves up for the same hold as before. Yet again, Skadina has opted for a different operator, bringing the Jackal this time round. Try and, I guess, control where the K1 was being a bit loose and heavy on the Legion, and they've actually headed down to the far opposite side of Tellers to try and hold on below. You can see the rest are generally setting themselves upstairs. Looks like Level Elite tried to pop some bullets as they retreated, and Fusion goes for the rotate via Tellers as well, but they are setting themselves up for some aggression. They're setting themselves up for some response to, I guess, you know, maybe a run out on detention side, maybe something that I guess Team 1 aren't expecting. But in the meantime, Team 1 have completely read that there is nobody in sec and taken it over.
Footprint gets scanned, and that means that whoever, the lonely defender in sight now, just has to be on his toes and falls. No drone, and Jaeger, come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah, not quite sure what direction he was peeking there, but it wasn't the right one. They at least get Jackal back Level Elite, using all the numbers and the power of that to lead him to a little bit of glory. Doesn't see the second person behind monitors and is just going to run away.
He's running around.
And it's actually, not sure who it was, but Rise at least has suffered a huge amount of damage. Falls is rotating up central stairs. And clearing as much barbed wire as they can as more drones work out. And that's always been, well, it's definitely been a big part of their game and how good it has been so far as the droning and the combination of that information feed. Twitch is looking for anything to zap, but Maestro is so far unzapped, just dead, if actually. Damasi finds one, but Reese finds the follow-up, and they actually trade, unfortunately, and now the point is getting cracked open. A 3 versus 2 and a minute 10 on. Yet again, things seem to be falling in the favor of Team 1.
Team 1 now, they can pressure in towards the bomb site. They've got the breach open. They have flank coverage as well from Liquid, who can easily just jump through in towards the rotation hole and also pressure in towards the bleepers. Still alive and well, and Valkyrie and behind the half wall. But really no support though from K1. So the next big thing is we need to see if we can get him in a better position, try and support his teammate, and he just rotates away in towards the B, having a suspicion that we could see Liquid try and pressure that office side, and there's a myriad of goo mines ready to go, and just bog them all down as they try and push in. Still 30 seconds to go. That's been barricaded off now. Team 1, what will he opt for? Looks like they've made up their mind and they will go for the breach. They know there's a guy in behind half wall. Flashbang comes in, and this can be a simple pickup really from either member of Team 1 if they want to go for it. They should have the advantage with flashbang, but there's the refrag, and now we need to see the plant come in, or will he try and push for the kill? He knows exactly where he is, and easy pre-fire could do it. Yes, Reduct pulls that one out of his back pocket, and Team 1, yet again, another round for them.
Great game sense then to just go push for the kill.
Yeah, barbed wire, Russell.
Knew the information, knew where it was, and opted for the right decision. And that is one of those things that, you know, you learn after a long period of time, sure, but when you have that level of game sense, when you have that level of response and skill, it is so worth its weight in gold. Team 1 find themselves sitting on 3-0, and yeah, it came down a little bit close to the wire there, but it's still looking convincing. Armory for the 4th time in a row.
That's a new one. Do you think it's going to be the 4th loss in a row for them? To be fair, they've gotten close every time they've played it.
They have, but also we see Team 1 trying different things each time. And, you know, the thing about it for me is, at what point do you pack up your bags and try somewhere else? Like, at what point do you go... You know, maybe in their head they're thinking, I guess we're up against Team 1, we're up against a great team in our region. We could use this to try and workshop our hold, because they've also been trying different defenses every time. Maybe for them this is a scrim that money can't buy, because how often do Team 1 teams scrim Team 3, Team 4 teams? It's never really done, so you know, maybe they're just trying their armory holds and seeing which puts the most trouble towards Team 1.
Yeah, if at first you don't succeed, try again. I don't really think that correlates well to Siege, though, with the way things kind of work out.
No. It's practice. It's getting themselves set up and learning from their mistakes. And it's not to obviously make too many comparisons to the first game of the day, but for me, SEMorg are doing much better than Lunchandos.
Yeah, which is a given.
But the thing is, they're both unknown teams. They're both unknown entities. They're, you know, Lanchados were unknown. They hadn't really had a showing anywhere. SEMorg, again, as far as everything reveals, this is a different SEMorg to the one that is in CL. Different lineup, different players, unless they've all changed their in-game names versus the ones that they're on CL with. This is a different team. And they're doing more of a fight back. So, you know, I think they're having a bit of a better showing. Can they, I guess, it still looks like it's casually careening to a 7-0, but they're at least finding bodies on the path.
Team 1, going for the same push time and time again, and that's your typical armory take, where you open up the breach, you try and sanction off anybody in behind half wall, and this is where Capitao could have been a great pickup, but sadly they have not decided to choose that operator. Also, in towards that sandwich is where they will try and put pressure on. That cuts the site in half, and Skadina, great reaction time that eliminates the Jaeger, and well, there's still one more below, and since that information's been relayed, this is where I expect Team 1 to turn on the jet boosters and just try and walk in towards bomb site, but instead they'll send Lukid, try and hold the flank for them while IQ can get in a better position.
Well, they obviously wanted that pulse below, ready to C4, and they saw how quickly Team 1 like to take control of CCTV. At this point, they know there's a pulse downstairs, know there's a body, and not going to risk it, and Lukelda is just going to hold on, sees the jump of Demacy and cuts the man in half, and now it's just a matter of closing down as Rise and Fusion trade yet again. Rise is in a trade situation and it's down to level. Post-plant situation, fires bullets towards one, doesn't quite catch it, but is looking for, I guess, a second to pick up now as he swings either side. But with all the guns and all the crossfires set, you're going to have to go for something a bit bigger and a bit bolder. You have to get through the F2 that is systematically swinging and pre-firing. Might find the silence, sees the head swing around, but this is a tough person to go up against. He's just side to side swinging and peeking. And you do find the kill, but look at the rotation coming on Office side. Look at the one on CCTV. They are pushing you aggressively, taking up all your time. At this point, even if you got back there, you wouldn't be able to defuse in time. They have forced him into his grave.
Team 1. Just more of the same, really. And I think it's just going to be the exact same for the next 3 rounds, honestly. I don't see SEMorg pulling, honestly, a single punch.
Will they pick a different point, though? They're thinking about it. They're discussing it. Nope. Back to armory.
It's like that one guy who eats the exact same thing for breakfast every single day.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice,
right?
Shame on me. Fool me 3 times, shame on me.
Right.
Fool me 4 times, shame on me.
Pick a new bomb site.
Fool me 5 times, pick a new bomb site.
No, you should have picked new bombs after the second time.
Yeah, they really should have. I mean, as we said, maybe they're just treating it like a scrim. Maybe they're just trying to workshop their bombs.
Nobody should ever treat these as scrims. It's a do-or-die competition, single elimination.
Yeah. I'm just trying to give them benefit of some doubt.
Benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, of some doubt.
You're like the good angel, I'm like the demon.
Yeah, that's it. That's the dynamic, and it works. And it hopefully makes people better. And otherwise, it's at least entertaining. Team 1, Foro, Skadina back on the Ash. Finka for the first time, is making her showing today. Hasn't been picked at all throughout this playday so far, and I guess we'll see what Falls does with it. Not sure if they've bought the LMG or they've just kind of bought the assault rifle and wants to get it through as quickly as possible, but maybe they're just going to try and use it to bolster the push.
So, Team 1, Finka. Finka. I'm trying to think what Finka they were thinking with bringing the Finka. You think?
Penny for your Finka?
No, that's not even how it goes. It's penny for your thoughts, not penny for your think. Yeah, bring the Finka. I think it's just a classic Latin America thing. You know, you have the LMG with great pre-fire potential. No! Double shotgun! The one time Team 1 go for a different approach, instead of the typical security, open up the breach, they try and go for the office, and they get punished for it straight off the rip.
I don't even think Dumasi expected to find two people at the end there. Pump, kill, pump, kill. That was an exceptional way of doing it. Level finds another and puts Team 1 in the worst position they've been all game. They've completely shut down this side. Lucadera finds one back in the body, but now he would have to ace to clutch this round out.
Hey, if anybody's gonna do it, it will be this man, but it's a big ask to really get off it, and well, there's one, but there's still one more pressing him, and as long as that Gooman's in his foot, well, he's in a tough situation now. One right beside him in Tellers, he knows he's there as Jaeger's give himself away, but look, it's back and forth is how it goes, and does he get the Jaeger? No, still misses the shots, but on such low HP, and even Smoke on low HP, there's potential. Oh, but Maestro even just jumps down, and this is what we said, SEM Org, they have nothing to lose, and they went full ranked mode.
Yeah, I like how their strategy there was we've just got to overwhelm him. And that's the right move, because if they took those as 1v1s, they could have very easily lost the entire thing.
Yeah.
This forces them to not choose Armory again, though.
Yay.
So they have to go to a different point, so that's quite good. Ventilation Workshop, we're going to see. Ella's on the board, and otherwise the same loadout from Team 1. Again, I don't think loadout was really a thing that mattered or was specific there. They've just kind of they've taken this as a very relaxed game so far. Ella swapped for the Pulse. I think that makes a little bit more sense towards this point. SEM Org are getting frags, they are getting bodies, but just not a huge amount, and whether it's down to Team 1 hitting this with, you know, not all the gas on the pedal, or they're just being a bit hesitant. I think they've been very relaxed about it, and they've been happy to opt and change what they've been doing every single time against a point. So they're having a good time with it. Setting themselves up pretty wide, putting up reinforcements down under tension in the bottom corner, as shows that they're probably going to try and keep control of that side and keep the roam on the first floor pretty active. Obviously, they've been a little bit heavy sometimes towards the roam side, but they've obviously been opting to change their strategies a couple of times throughout this game so far, even across the same point. So throwing the shotgun close onto the window on the officer's entrance hasn't been their go-to, but when it's worked, and I guess we'll just see if they get lucky on the draw again with whichever strategy they take on this.
Lineup from Team 1. Frag heavy. Only the one breacher in the form of Thermite, so Habana hasn't really seen a look in this game so far. And SEM Org, intel heavy, you know, Valkyrie, Maestro, and Pulse, all forms of great information that they can gather against Team 1. Jaeger, ADS burner, of course, to eliminate any gadgets that could be thrown away, and whenever there's always been consistent nades being brought by Team 1, it's a good pickup. Jaeger loses that first engagement to, again, another aggressive jump out, and did tag up Lukid, but he's managed to come away with that one.
Well, suffered obviously during it as they crack open the window for his friend there and hits
He's
every
a nice
door
guy.
possible. Yeah, it's just good teamwork. Hits this wall, but they know there's people behind it, so they're being a little bit hesitant as Valkyrie pulls back further and further.
He did see that, didn't he? I hope he did.
Either way, the C4 catches your eyes on the other side. That's the IQ gone. And now they're just throwing as many flashes and frags behind the wall. There he goes.
Yeah, standard enough from Team 1. They've realized that, oh, look, There's a guy behind half wall. Let's burn some ADSs. Let's get the frag grenades in. And generally, they're using their frag grenade operator as a substitution to Capital, which still doesn't make any... Oh, that's a new one. Which still doesn't make any sense, simply because Capital provides a lot more utility than what frag grenades would make. And sure, you have that benefit of bringing the sledges. He can go ahead and sledge open, you know, multitude of angles, as he's still having issues with his drone. Skadina, he's looking to explode in towards the bomb site. Has the Ash R4C primed and ready to go, and Redox really is, he's just here to plant. That's his job.
Yeah, well, he's digging his way closer forward. They have this vertical control, and at this point you think it's going to be another comfortable round for Team 1. The spots are still coming out for anyone and everyone below, and Maestro just completely got torn apart there, and at least there's some response fire, but they don't quite get falls, and now Lucadera finds another one. Fusion finds one back on the opposite side as Pulse, but with the diffuser down, no C4 in pocket, and 25 health. Well, it's looking like a very tough situation indeed, and yet again, Team 1 aggressively pushing where they knew he was.
Well, Fusion, how was that for you? You got 2 kills for it, but still, Team 1, an impressive 5-1.5 as they want to go for the rehost. So yeah, Sam Org, 5-1 at the half, and now they have to go for the attacks first, which is kind of more of the worry I would have rather than anything else. And you know, you look at the kind of Team 1 attacks, very fluent. What we expected from them, they have the gun skill to kind of back things up, and still a long way to go for them if they want to try and make things happen, Fluke.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you go to the turn of the half and you kind of look that you're in a 4-2, and it's not to speak ill of Team 1, because I don't think they have to, but they're playing very relaxed. They're not really throwing themselves too hard or too fast into it. They don't have to run their best strategies to do this. They're just having a chill time with it. And at the same time, when you're Semorg, you got to think, well, what can we do in this situation? If our, you know, if they keep trying different strategies, should they rely more on trying the same over and over again, trying the same point with different strategies?
Well, the way I look at it now is that Semorg, they have to play to the tune that Team 1 are going to set up with. Attackers, they always have to apply themselves to how the defense set up. Defense, they set up first, and then the attacks have to kind of stand back and say, oh, look, you know, all that kind of stuff, and say, oh, how are we going to approach this, and what kind of things are we going to do for it?
Do you think when we swap over to Coastline, at least, we're going to see more of the same from these teams?
Yeah, Coastline border very similar, frag-heavy maps. The strategies aren't as in-depth compared to other maps, like Bank we've seen, and, you know, Villa as well. They're very simple maps to play, and it just kind of favors Team 1 whenever it's all about the kills, and clearly, they do have the better gunners.
They do, and obviously it's comfortable for them, and I think that's the main thing I want to kind of go back to, is obviously people might be expecting it to be as aggressively one-sided as it was in the first game we saw of the day, but at the same time, Team 1 don't really have to apply the pressure. They're happy to sit back in their chairs and happy to have a nice time with it, because at this moment in time, what they'll probably be looking at is, well, we've won this first round, who do we have next, and where else do we have to go to beat to the bracket? Because for a team like them that ended up in 3rd place, so bitterly close by 1 point to actually getting a big invite to a major, this is a very real opportunity to make their way there.
And even, you know, Team 1, they've had their fair share of kind of tournament runs. You look at the open qualifiers for Rally. They managed to best out Liquid and cost them a spot to go to Rally. And unfortunately, they did eventually lose to... who did they lose to in the Rally quals? Was it NIP? No, NIP weren't even at the major. What am I talking about? Who was it? It wasn't MOBR, because they got the spot from going to Milan. It wasn't FaZe. Who was the other Brazil team?
Is it Black Dragons?
No, it wasn't Black Dragons. Let me see.
This is the test of memory. I'll let him search through that.
You talk away there.
We keep getting
I can't believe I've forgotten about that.
So,
that's crazy.
Whilst he goes over this, I'm going to go over the rest of the bracket as what we've got coming up. And just quickly remind everyone.
It was NIP.
There we go.
I thought it was NIP, but I wasn't sure.
The teams that we've got through. So obviously Liquid and Gaming are going to be up against each other in one of the quarterfinals. It's
probably just because I didn't even remember NIP was there, because they got put out on the second day. They're being thrashed.
Ints versus Elevate is the second quarterfinal, one of the ones we found out today. MIBR versus the winner of this. And then the last one will be between Guardians Imperium and 6-6ers and Black Dragons and Supernova R6. Now, those, the first game of those is potentially going to be quite tight. The second, obviously, it's a Pro League team versus a CL team. So again, it might have some of the battles that we saw in MIBR versus Looking for Org, but Team 1 of this side of the bracket, they're the team that you expect to get all the way.
You look at the bracket, straight off the rip. We still have, of course, Yeah Gaming versus Liquid, which I think will be an intriguing matchup. A team who's kind of flying high in their Challenger League. Liquid, who again didn't manage to make it to the finals this time around. Instead, it was, of course, FaZe and NIP, as we'll go into the game. But still, for every team here, it is doable, but clear favorites, just from what we've seen so far and even to the build-up. On one side, we expect Liquid to get to the semis and get to the LAN, and it has to be Team 1 in the other. It has to be. That or MIBR, but what we've seen from MIBR today, it's not looking promising.
No, it just really wasn't, and especially with how relaxed Team 1 have been about this, is, there's so much more left in the canister and another gear that they can shift to, obviously. And
you want to know what's in the canister?
Let me tell you what's in the canister. They want to bring that against MIBR.
That was very good. I like that.
Thank you.
I can only do the Thatcher one.
Oh, let me hear it. Oh, no, wait. Probably not. You can... Have I put you on the spot now?
Just because he says a bad word.
He does say a bad word. That's why I was thinking maybe not for this broadcast.
Unmanned drones. Something laser sights.
Give us impressions to do of operators.
It's one thing I know. 16th player doesn't lose its reception.
Wow. It's like I'm there.
Oh, thanks.
Do you have any, what about the lines from the...
what about the Thermite one? It was like, you know what you get if you mix something with something something.
You get if you mix.
No, it's not that deep. It's not like Satan speaking to me.
Vin Diesel. Hey,
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
That's what I think of straight away.
You know what you get when you mix. It's just, you need someone like Stokes here to do it. I bet he'd...
No, Flynn, what do you mean?
Oh, yeah,
Deepest
Flynn.
voice out of all of us.
Yeah. Flynn, the man of minus octaves.
That's very true. So, let's get back into things, as we did have that rehost, but now we're ready to go for border. And once again, attack defense. Defense on the armory. Straight off the rip, no surprise from Team 1. Extension hold in towards security with an intriguing shield that I've never seen before. So I'm thinking that's going to be used kind of as like a mirror window, because you have good lines of sight there if you're playing behind that. Also, it means that you kind of have to get rid of that as an attacker, so that will waste utility as well.
Yeah, you can see Reductors playing against this triple Orson if they can catch anything. As the Thatchers come out, they've also reinforced the swing round wall towards what I've seen some people refer to as Canadian, just to try and hold on a little bit longer and keep that ground as much as they can. The spots are coming out against the man in break room. He's just going to aggressively peek out against it, but with the cover from the Elysian, this is becoming a bit of a firefight against Level on this main door. They're trying to find their way into just any of the bodies of Team 1, but so far they've just kept them at bay with clever positioning and cunning planning. However, Skadina is actually the one to open up the frags and take care of K1.
Yeah, long angle with the Alda. Another one pushes in, and that will be tagged up and also being called out. And Skadina, he's hungry for it. He wants more kills, and he will find more. And this is almost certainly put an end to the reign of Sam Morgan, their attack. I say that, there's the refrag, but straight away Rise is there to pick up the pieces where they fell. And there's Falls adding on to it as well. Fusion, another kill for him, but he has to pull off the ace if he wants to make it happen, which is oh so stacked against him.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first ace position, but well, that was a very nice take. Relying on the old information of the man in break and being able to spot the hole, cracks the man in half. 2 track stringers and 2 smoke grenades in pocket. Has a little bit of utility and the ability to move, but otherwise, there's another one. Swings past quad kill. Suddenly, this unwinnable position isn't so unwinnable. There is the pop-up to end the dream. And Falls almost fell to an ace.
Well, if he did get that, that would have been one for the highlight reel, we'll say. But still, Team 1, match point 6-1 for Team 1. It's like really, it's kind of like the G2 effect. Remember whenever they done the 6-2, 6-2, 6-2, G2? Don't know if you remember that famous quote.
Remember that.
From,
I do.
From another guy who we know, Baldy Head, does a good, really good Pulse cosplay. Do you know him?
Ace.
No.
Oh, the other one, Matt Andrews.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
great
should
guy.
be, 7-1, 7-1, Team 1.
Team 1, 7-1. Got to keep the record going. Maybe that's why they gave the one armory round over. Customs inspection is where they're going to opt to on the second point. Not going to take the often seen vent. Not even going to take the often seen tellers. They're instead going to go to office and supply instead.
Yeah, customs, yeah. Border, again, has kind of run its course with what you can do on the offsites. That doesn't really allow you that much creativity, because whenever you try to be creative, many people have tried to do things differently. Attackers just have their way with it, so you literally have to set up with, you reinforce site, you have some rotation holes in towards A, and you just put like 3 players upstairs. We may see variations where it's literally everybody playing in towards the security side of things with the hatch open and different holes being made. Sometimes we've even seen extensions in towards armory where you try and cover half of the top floor, which just alleviates pressure from your main guys playing inside of security. So there's options for Team 1, and I think they've kind of went for, the classic just hold, and even the extension in towards armory looks to be a thing as Kadina's setting up over there, but I don't think he's going to hold it. I think he's just placing the classic Maestro camera that can look straight down that balcony, which of course someone like Luka could play against.
Yeah, I'm wondering to see, obviously, if they do aggressively respond, because they have the gun skill to be able to find those fights, and if Lucid is holding on in CC, gives them the ability to swing around again with the shield placement being a bit interesting and a bit off the beaten wall, throwing it on top of the monitors and just kind of using it as a bit of portable, I guess, hop over cover and get himself some more action. And it's quite a nice swing. K1 trying to waste no time and pushing up against this stairs hold. And they're actually going to pull away from the opening they've made and put pressure on the other window. Bit curious why they punched that and didn't just shoot through it, if I'm honest, because, I mean, at that point they know you're there and you might be able to catch something, but no joy. Pre-fires the alibi, and that is the information fed as Fusion tries to creep up against the Maestro, who is holding the camera, and great swing down to get Skadina and take a situation that could have been disastrous.
Fusion is the only man who's kind of stepping up now for SEM Oregon. Well, we need more of that. See if he can rally the crowd and get them going as Team 1, they suffer yet again, another loss to their lineup. But there's still players up before, and we have seen Team 1 pull this back, of course, and there goes one kill for them. Quite intriguing why we just seen Elite watch straight past it, and here comes the aggressive play from Reduck, but already the man who did rotate is far away. Will start to get pressured. They know where he is, and nobody's in sight. And now the diffuser's being planted. There's no information being gathered as they know it's being planted, but they don't know where it is. So diffuser's down. That has to be a retake for Team 1.
Well, there's another body dropped, and Semorg have put themselves in a nice situation, and it's all post-plant from this point onwards. Alibi's still getting a bit of information, and the C4 pops off and brings it back to a 2-3 with a follow-up against Fusion, who, as we said, has been a pretty standout player so far. And K1 suffers a huge amount of damage, swings round and hits wood with the shotgun, and it is now just down to a very low health. Alibi, who is being watched from both sides. Semorg with the second plant of the game. Make it their second round win of the game.
Yeah, nobody on site. Nobody on site. So questionable from them right there. Don't know why they really went for it, but hey-oh, they did. And it has kind of cost them around there. Team 1, not getting the 7-1 that they were after. Instead, it'll have to be a 7-2 if they want to win it here and now, which ideally we expect them to whenever... I think they'll learn from their mistakes. They're going to go for customs once more.
I'm curious to see if they change anything up about customs. I know it was previously and briefly, once upon a time mentioned that, this is the kind of environment where for some of these teams, if they're not looking at it as a fair matchup, they might look at it as a time to just try new things and test new strats and just mess around with balances and stuff like that, and maybe this is a place for them to workshop customs. I mean, they did open on the Armory to put themselves on match point, and they have more than enough buffer and could always return to the Armory again, but I guess we'll see how this developed. In the meantime, it was well played by Semorg. I think the code of conduct is that they responded very well to things, like Fusion when he flipped down to get the Maestro. They picked up quickly what was going on, and from that point were able to continually find their way into point, shut down Team 1. Going for the setup upstairs again. Lukid is preparing for, I guess, maybe a little bit more heroics.
Team 1 dodging off the alibi this time around, and well, instead picking up the Mozzie, so perhaps a couple of drones being a nuisance for them, but I think Mozzie just adds that extra C4 that they were kind of lacking in that later stage of things. And well, Alibi doesn't really have that much of an impact generally. That's why she's not really picked as often. She has a great gun, which is a kind of particular reason why teams, you know, kind of pick her. Because there is certain players who are great with the gun. I think of Citizen and Navi, for example. He plays the MX4 Storm on a suppressor, but he gets frags of it, so does it really matter what he has a setup with? Frag Grenade will land true on the falls as he tried to go for the bandit trick, and well, he pays for that one. So Semorg, playing it slow, playing it steady, but it's solid.
Well, they pre-fire and pop out against Skadina, and that's the second time in a row. Falls to Fusion, and yet again Team 1 are doing a very, very nice pick. In fact, Semorg are doing a very, very nice pick apart of Team 1. Level Elite comes around the back of Reduct, and Reese manages to at least put a body on the floor, but with the Gridlock tracks going off, and just Gridlock herself spawn peeking, yet again it ties into the fact that she is really showing up. Semorg with the first flawless round of the game, 6-3.
Yeah. Why do they keep going for customs if they have no idea how to defend it?
Maybe that's why. As I said, maybe they're just messing around. Obviously, they've still got, I think, every point open now. They're going to go back to Armory and try and take that one again. I guess it's all down to them, really. As I said, they're a team that's looking at this for the long run. No doubt they're looking at the kind of minor, they're looking at the stage, and hoping to be able to try and take the first spot in what is going to be a very stacked set of matches. At this point, they might just be trying to refine certain places and holds that they otherwise don't get a chance to.
So Armory back up there. They had a really solid defense for it, and they should be able just to close things out here. I expect them to. It's not as if customs where it can be tricky to hold. Should be pretty straightforward for Team 1, and Semorg, well, they put up a good fight, but I feel as if this is where their journey ends. For Border is at least. Still Coastline to go, of course.
Yep, still the second map, and obviously that is Semorg's pick on Coastline, so who knows? Maybe they have one or two surprises up their sleeves. For now, they've still got a couple of rounds potentially ahead of them on here. It'd just be surprising if Team 1 falter with how pretty decisive they've been on this point in particular. Setting up their, well, covering their rotations and using this more
extension.
Got their extension. They haven't blown up the extension into Fountain yet, so maybe not going completely across. Oh, there it is. Falls is gunning it open now. And I think the freedom of movement we've seen Team 1 enjoy around this top floor has been, well, one of the big things about their team. They're happy to be aggressive, happy to be mobile, and as we said, Fusion has been showing up in pretty big numbers to at least try and draw them back into the game a little bit. And this was obviously his last alive point, where it did come down to a 1-1 with almost an ace clutch. And that is always a hell of a thing to see.
So, Semorg, aggressive lineup, again bringing you those fragging operators such as Sledge and even IQ can try and rain in heavy with the 5.52 and still playing that gridlock, and Fusion's really came alive playing that operator with the F90, and that's a really solid gun, no recoil whatsoever, great damage output, comes with the ACOG. Skadina again going for this Maestro camera, which hasn't worked for him really at all this game. You look at the customs, he tried it, trying to get naded from below, but K1 misses the first one and also misses the second one, and that just kind of shows that, you know, they are a kind of rookie team, and I think that sums it up, and they even lose a man on this wide swing, and that's Thermite gone, and Team 1 now, they should be able to close this one out. Yeah, and that definitely seals the deal as Reduck jumps out, gets 2, who are both on the rappel.
Well, Fusion yet again finding himself one of the last left alive as Gabrielos needs to steadily make his way across, and well, now there's nowhere to make his way across to. He is the last alive, at least finds Falls in the meantime, holding the angle on the door, but is continually crouching and moving and is otherwise just going to have his space slowly eroded by Team 1, who are, well, pretty viperous when it comes to collapsing upon the last man left. Just over a minute on the clock. Skadina on a flicker of health, but when you look at what you've got to get through, well, there goes Mozzie. All of that angle is covered, all of the angle is, you know, cleared. Gonna set the Claymore at the top of the stairs, and now you've got, excuse me, a very long corridor to go against.
Just playing the long game, but just extends the rounds a little bit further. Doesn't matter, here comes a quick peek, and Team 1. They go ahead and they take that first map. It took them a while to close it out, but still nonetheless a 7-3 scoreline from them. That does set us up now for the Coastline match, which should be, I think, a lot more hotly contested compared to Border, but will Team 1 just tear away like they did on Border, or will we finally see Semor get a little bit of momentum behind them? We'll see that right after the break.
Absolutely stunning! They are the champions!
Predict the outcome, win the game. Get live coverage and schedules for your favorite tournaments. Analyze, predict, and vote to gain points. Compete with other esports fans and climb the leaderboards. Strafe, everything esports. Download now on iOS and Android.